Welcome back to the Ergo2go podcast, brought to you by the Back School and Ability On Demand. I'm your host, Matt Jeffs. We bring you interesting people from the world of ergonomics, on-site injury prevention, health, safety, well-being, and a whole lot more. Don't forget to subscribe below and click on the little bell in the upper right-hand corner to get the latest in the fields of ergonomics, health and safety, risk management, human resources, and healthcare, right here on the Ergo2go podcast. Today's guest we've been speaking with is the Director of Education at the Back School, Dr. Bob Niklewicz. We've talked about a lot of interesting things. Bob, welcome back. It's good to have you.
Thanks, Matt.
It's good. It's been a lot of fun talking about things. We've shared some of your experiences and global view of how we can be in service as physical therapists, both in the downstream, if I might use that term, reactive approach, but also in the upstream preventive approach. And you've kind of helped connect those dots and brought that whole thing together over the course of your career, which a lot of us have followed in your path and processes. What I wanted to ask you about now is some of the things that we've seen over our careers, and especially you, that may or may not be the greatest ideas. I know we've discussed this. We've been talking about Peaches and Pits as a reference to the Atlanta Back School, as it was first called. We've seen some interesting things. I'd love to get your considered take on them, and I'm going to throw a couple of them at you. Can I do that?
Go for it.
All right, I'll pitch them nice and easy right over the plate. But Bob, I gotta know your feelings and thoughts on things like. Let's start with sit-to-stand desks. What are the pros and cons, Peaches and Pits?
Okay. In ergonomics, one of our goals is for prevention of injuries.
Right.
We have, as a species, I've always been busy. We're always moving. Our whole lives have been based around activities and motion. As we've gone more compartmentalized into industry where you're at a computer, at a desk, at a workstation, we've stopped doing the motion. And partially due to the fact that was what the job was. We didn't have the skills to branch out. So we learned one task and got good at it, but that was it. You're always putting that one button on that one peg, and that was your life. And the cost of that is the body is meant for motion. You're destroying tissue. Mm-hmm. So when we're into an office environment, sitting for long periods of time, there's tissue that is working your hands, but the static activities of our neck, our back, our legs are taking a toll on the tissue. The idea of getting up in motion is brought back in the last decade or so with the sit-stand. And my bias is that the early stuff was meant to as scare tactics. Sitting will kill you. You know, the new smoking, people dropping dead at the desk. And some of this research was done by who? The people who made sit-stand desks. Right. So I think the biases really ticked me off. I thought this is unfair, but the science, a little physiology, was this jewel that set it all off. So the seed was planted. It has some application. But is it more scare tactic or is it more reality based? So my feeling is that for some people, it's great. You have to get up, and the research shows about every 20 minutes your muscles are fatiguing. So the idea would be stand for 20, sit for 40, stand for 20, sit for 40, rather than 2 hours and 2 hours where people are fatiguing again.
Right.
However, there's some people who cannot stand. They have peripheral vascular disease. They have spondylosis, spondylolisthesis, congestive heart failure. This is all made worse for standing. So it's not the panacea that it may be put out there originally by the manufacturers, but there's a place for it for the right person at the right dosage.
You just nailed it. The dosage. I appreciate you saying that because, you know, for a while we saw a lot of these arguments that were a bit of a contrivance comparing, one static posture to the other. And really the magic is the ability to move between them. Is that a better, like you say, dosage?
There's a slogan that's been going around recently I've heard is motion is the best lotion.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
And in ergonomic health, motion is no lotion is the next position is the best position. This is
Right.
all keeping you moving.
Yeah.
And the ergo brakes is a wonderful way to do it. It's cheap, it's fast, but people still have to be trained to do it.
That's right. That's right. It's got to become part of their daily habit. Okay, I love where you're going with this. What do you think, again, from your vast background, and I'm grinning before I even pitch this one across the plate, but exercise balls at work, please go.
Catch. Okay, because we don't have 4 hours,
Yeah,
I'm keeping
yeah.
it short and sweet.
Yep.
An exercise ball is exercise equipment. It's not furniture.
Right.
Okay? Like everything else that you see coming up quick and hot topics, there's a little bit of science built into it. And from there, it expands. So as a physical therapist, I love gym balls. I've used them. I like Dynadiscs. We can talk about that too. But a
Yeah.
gym ball has a place in the gym. But a person who is very narrow as far as their education goes and understanding is that they'll put you on the gym ball to fix your core. A core is exercise 5, 10, 15 minutes. It's not 8 hours, not 10 hours. So that alone disqualifies it as far as something I would allow in any clinic or any department, any office that I'm responsible for. No gym balls. Now, the practical side of it is, what is a gym ball? It's a giant vinyl ball, 65 centimeters or so, inflated.
Mhm.
For used to be $18, $19. Now they're $29. It's just vinyl. You sit on that, and you get close to something sharp. It doesn't deflate like a psst. It's a catastrophic failure.
Boom.
Boom on the coccyx.
Yep.
A true example, I had one person bring me into their office. The secretary wanted to bring her gym ball on the recommendation of one of her trainers. I said, I will not approve this. I'm not going to sign off this evaluation. And they proceeded to keep on using the gym ball. Sometime later, I found out that she had rolled the ball into the corner of the filing cabinet that punctured the ball, catastrophic failure, fell, fractured a coccyx, lacerated her skull, and ended up in the hospital because of that one failure.
Mhm.
Since that time, gym balls are trying to say, okay, they put an inner tube inside the ball, so you have outer and inner. Well, there's no back support, so they put a back support on it. They put wheels on it. They've done everything possible to make it furniture.
Right.
It's still a gym ball. So my personal feelings, if you want to do it, it's a wonderful piece of exercise equipment, but it's not meant to be furniture.
No doubt. Oh, I'm so glad to hear you say that. I've encountered the very same things in the on-site world, and I tell the exact same story. This gets back to what you mentioned earlier with sit to stand. It's dosage, which means the dosage is really in the gym. You know, keep it in the physical, keep it in the parallel bars, keep it in the gym. That's where it belongs. But it's not.
But every other day for 15 minutes. It's not 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Right, and something we also encounter, both of us, when we confer with safety professionals, is you break it, you bought it. So that lady that you described became a catastrophic workers' comp claim as well.
Yeah,
that happened at work. It's a comp claim. Sorry. So yeah, no, I agree with that. Okay, last one I'm going to pitch across the plate here is. Oh my, this is another one. I've been saving this one up. Treadmill desks. So what do you think of that, Dr. Bob?
Okay, it falls on the same thing, gym balls. There's furniture and there's exercise equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why they do this. Time is a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what you sell. When you go to work for something, you're selling your hours of a day.
Right.
You have 24 to sell. 8 you may give to your sleep, but the other 16 you're going to give to work or your pleasures. If you combine your pleasure time with your work time, you have more time. So people think if they exercise on the treadmill and work, they save time.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that you can't do both efficiently. My vision is somebody who's typing along and has a profound thought. They stop to think and they slide right off the back of the treadmill.
Yeah. Right.
If you're in a private office, your own home, you can do what you want to. But in a company setting, first, they're terribly noisy. They're very expensive. To get on and off them safely is a challenge. So how can you possibly be efficient on something like a treadmill? Does it work? Sure, in a gym. at work, you take your ergo break and walk around the building. So if anybody's asked me, should they get one? I said, if you want to do it's your business. However, from the ergonomic point of view, efficiency and risk, I think that belongs in a separate venue, at home, at the gym, somewhere else.
You're crossing into territory I want to take further with this as we wrap this segment up and this interview up. We're now entering into a world of telecommuting. So you brought up some of these things where, well, people are at home and at work. So if that treadmill injury, and you get into the whole workers' comp world and everything, was it a work injury or wasn't it? It's a brave new world out there, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah, it's a good question. See, what happens if you are on the clock and you got a car accident? Is the company's time. If you're working at your home, where's that gray zone?
Yeah.
And were you actually working in the keyboard when you fell off the treadmill, or is it when you were at midnight when you had a nice evening of beverage?
Bob, this is only the beginning. I really want us to continue with what I'm just cutesily calling the peaches and pits ideas out there in ergonomics, because again, with your storied career, we've got a lot of experience to draw from, and I hope we can have you back. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
This is fun, and it's great to be able to speak with someone of your stature and pick your brains. So do stay tuned, and we're gonna do this again. Thank you, Dr. Bob.
You betcha. My pleasure.
Folks, you've been listening and watching the Ergo2go podcast. I'm your host, Matt Jeffs, brought to you by the Back School and Ability on Demand. We bring you interesting people from the world of ergonomics, like Dr. Bob Niklewicz, on-site injury prevention, health, safety, well-being, and a whole lot more. Again, don't forget to subscribe below and click on the little bell in the upper right-hand corner so you can get the latest info from the overlapping fields of ergonomics, health and safety, risk management, human resources, healthcare, and a whole lot more right here on the Ergo2go podcast. Until next time, everybody, be safe, be smart, and please be helpful.